where the truth gets clear. Every voice matters, every story's heard here. From home to the headline, she's breaking it down. Clarity and courage, that's how justice sounds. Order in her court, no matter the scene. From love and the law to what's on your screen. Family, fun, and the world we chase. Obreziah Bullard, justice in its place. Where we are. Every word, every view. Justice isn't just served. It's tailored for you.
Welcome to Order in Her Court. I am your host, Obreziah Bullard. Here we break down the realities of family law with clarity, compassion, and straight talk. I am so excited to have with us Dr. Lisa Oppong. She has an amazing story that you want to hear. Is what you need to hear. We're going to jump right into it. Thank you, Dr. Oppong, for coming with us, sharing your story, your journey with our audience. Take a few moments and just introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here, first of all, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to share me and share myself with the world. Yeah. I am Dr. Lisa Oppong. I am CEO and founder of Speak to My Heart, Lisa. That is LISA, which stands for love. Illustriously symbolizes the anointing. Yes, and I have had a life on me, and it's an awesome time in this life to share. I'm newly retired, a federal employee.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 35 years with the federal government in enforcement, revenue officer. And so this is the part of life, the purpose. I'm at the manifestation of the purpose of my life, and just expressing the content of the covenant that God has blessed me to make it through.
Let's jump right into that purpose, because that purpose is what drove the opening of your business. Tell me where that purpose came from.
That purpose, Speak to My Heart, was literally God speaking to me and me having God to, just asking God, what am I to do at this time? It had already been prophesied over my life at the age of 18, 19, that I would be ministering to hurting women, single women, men, hurting men, marriages, all aspects of relationships.
At 18?
At 18.
And you didn't even know what that looked like in the future.
I kind of sort of did a little bit, but the future, no, I did not. Because at that time, that it was prophesied, I was with my first husband, as I said, my children's father, my baby daddy. And so it was prophesied to us both, that would happen. Of course, over life, I have since learned in ministry and in my spiritual walk that just because I am no longer with him, we are divorced years now, but that does not mean that the call is divorce.
Right.
I was not divorced from the call.
Right.
And just because he was not physically in my life did not mean that I was not called to do what God had called me to do.
Now, you knew from a very young age that life was going to take you somewhere that you were going to be ministering to hurt people, men, women, children. But in that ministry, you experienced the hurt.
Exactly. Talk about experience and walking the talk and talking the walk. I know what I'm talking about. As I always say, I'm here to represent, but your walk has to be your walk. But I can only tell you how God has helped me to make it through in my journey and the things that I've been through in my life, and in hopes that the goal is for those who see me and see this, they can take the aspects, chew, as my big mom used to say, chew the meat, spit out the bones, take the part that they need to apply it to their life, and which will drastically cut the healing time. It'll cut that healing time. So something that took me 12 years, 11, 13, would take you only a month or two, depending on how you need to apply that to that particular part of your life.
Let's jump right into that journey. Tell me about that journey. What is that journey?
That journey involves the spiritual walk, but definitely domestic violence. That journey involves domestic violence. Domestic violence. Yeah.
Domestic violence, in my field as a family law practitioner, I have dealt with domestic violence on both ends, right? I've dealt with the abuser, I've dealt with the victim, and domestic violence is so broad.
Yes.
It has many different facets to it.
Yes, it does.
Help people understand what domestic violence look like.
Lucky and blessed for you, it looks like this. And I look good.
And you do.
To let you know, you do not have to look like what you're going through. You don't have to look like what you've been through. Because as I say and as I know, it was for others, but I make the joke why God didn't teach me why I'm not showing people how to be a billionaire in 3 days, but this was my walk, and I'm at the point now where I am boldly able to express that. And the different facets of domestic violence, of course, there is physical, been there, done that. I do thank God that part is over. And when I say physical, I have been in the hospital with hematoma. I have experienced. I've had an incident of a double-barrel shotgun to my head. I've been through if I can't have you, no one can. Even though you don't want me, but
the control aspect.
The control aspect.
People don't realize that is when you look at factors of domestic violence. Control is one of those factors. When I go to court, judges have factors that they're trained on to pinpoint. It may not always be the physical. That's the most glaring, but financial control.
Yes.
If I can't have you, no one can have you. That type of control. Where are you going?
Yes.
Who are you with?
Yes.
Even down to I control your keys, your phone. Those things are also very, very much factors that contribute to that domestic violence.
Yes, I have been there. Even in the one instance, and we're talking 30 years ago. But one instance where when I was, I'll just leave. I'll just leave. I'll just go. I'll just go on back home to my mama, and we'll be fine. And then it was a point where we're in this apartment. I loved where I lived. I did not want to go, but he would not leave, and he said he would stay there until and not pay anything and let our things get put out on the street. If I left, my stuff would get put out on the street. So not wanting to start over again, stayed a little bit longer.
That's the manipulation.
That is the manipulation.
The control, the manipulation. I see a lot of victims that when I'm representing them, it takes them a long time to leave.
Yes.
There's a making excuses for the abuser. It's the self-blame.
Yes.
It's the this will be the last time.
Yes.
What do you tell those victims? How do you talk to those victims that they're enduring that control and that manipulation, and they feel and they know their gut is not right and they need to leave, but they just can't garner the ability to do so?
My advice is to research. Research. Now, there is no book on the epistle of Lisa, Dr. Lisa, or Lisa Oppong. Lisa Ann, that's my middle name. Lisa Ann with an E. And I say that because that's the queenly version. But there's no book on that. But when I say research, examine your situation. Examine your situation. That gut feeling that you have where things are going on, start to examine it immediately for yourself. And one thing I have to say, do not broadcast what you're going to do. It means nothing it only delays your escape, if that's the point that
Now,
you get to.
let's explore that. Don't broadcast. Move in silence.
Move in silence.
Move. Why is that so important?
For safety. It's several of my cases, it was a matter of life or death. It is a matter of life or death for me. It is a matter of life or death for your family. It is a matter of life or death for your children. It is a matter of life or death for your friend, your friend, your bestie, all of those who are in your circle. It is a matter of life or death. And you have to, as I heard Joyce Meyer say years ago, do it afraid. You know, the player is hurt and put me back in, coach. I'm okay. Put me back in. But you have to do it afraid. You have to do it hurt. A lot of the time, and please know this, I am not taking blame. I'm not in that blame stage. I'm good. I've been the victim. I've been the survivor. I am now the warrior. And as the warrior, I've been there, done that, and I have to prepare you. I've got to go back and tell the others. I've got to help you up for it to be less time that you have to spend in these situations. But it is a matter of life or death. I had been in the courtroom and stepped out to get a breather. Fulton County or City of Atlanta, that big, beautiful one where people have weddings at, come out and I was leaning on the banister to take a breather, only to hear a voice behind me say, I'll just push you off. I'll just push you over right now. And it would be over. Following the rules, would not take child support because I did not want the control in my life. I did not want anything else to do with this person. But because of, the judges, they love he would say that he wanted to pay child support, but I knew it was just a ploy. I knew it was just a ploy. And so things of that nature, when I say move in silence, you don't broadcast it. Even if you think you still want it. I went through the point of, I went back a couple of times. One, I finally had to just face, well, you know what? I love him. I love him. We done been to high school together. We were in high school together, college. We got saved for real though this time together, and the abuse was going on even during dating. So that's why I say research you, because I did what goes on in your homes. What goes on here stays here. At least he's paying the bills. At least you the main one. Just because you got this, you can still die with being that one. And then there are others that's just waiting in line saying that you're the stupid one. I can still do better. And as long as there are others out there who will be able to and will gladly take, quote, your place, that will enable the abuser to just do what they do. And I mean this in both ways, man and woman. And so that's what I mean when I say do not broadcast it. When I began to research myself, and ironically this was with my third marriage, I began to research what I was seeing. Of course, thank God, with my spiritual walk and my life's experiences. Yes, I'm looking at why I'm here again. Why I'm here again. I thought
did you endure the abuse in various relationships?
Yep, in all three.
I heard you saying at one point in time it started while dating, and so we're looking back now.
Yes,
what were those early signs that you wish you would have listened to?
The punching, the hitting. So
it was the physical abuse from the beginning.
The beginning was physical. Was physical. The reason I'm wearing glasses today. Now I probably would eventually be wearing them. This is my diamond anniversary year. I'll be 60. But,
okay, 60.
but I had to wear glasses earlier from, as I said, hematoma. I mean, literally instances of being punched in the head, being kicked in the stomach.
How old were you?
At that time, I was in my 20s. I got married early because I knew I wanted to be married. I love marriage.
Yeah.
I love marriage. I love the sanctity of marriage. I love the covenant of marriage, and being a child of God early in life, as they say, at an early age. I thank God for my mom, taking me to church and, as I say, dragging me to church until I could drag myself, and now I stand tall as I walk through the doors to get my validation and my rhema word for my life. But back then, I knew I wanted to be married. I knew I wanted to have children, and I'm an only child. My plan was to have many, and this person, I still know to this day, as I've learned what I've learned in life, that had he had that same type of teaching and gumption to be better, we would be celebrating probably our 40th anniversary this year. Yes. And but I had to back then it was physical. The punching, the knives, the me defending myself. I mean, with no hesitation of the aftermath of it. It was back during the time of the famous Nicole OJ case. And I would just have messages whenever I left. There would be messages or phone calls. They're gonna find you on the side of a road, find your body in a bag, just like Nicole Simpson.
Did you all have children?
Yes, we have 2 children. My children are by my first
when I
husband.
speak with a lot of my victims in my cases, one of the things that I hear consistently is, I don't want to leave because of the kids.
Yes.
Now, I know from the legal standpoint what I tell them. I tell them, if you can't protect you can't protect them.
Exactly.
I tell them that, look, you don't want to be in this situation, but what are your kids witnessing?
Exactly.
Because what they're witnessing statistically says that's what they're going to be attracted to.
Exactly.
Because that's all they know.
Yes.
And so from a legal perspective, those are the things that I tell people and encouraging them to be able to move on. But as a survivor, as a warrior, what are some things that you tell them?
That was the reason that I left for the last time, because I did stay for the children. And just the beautiful thing about it, I had the backing of my parents, his parents, as far as, we didn't have the babysitting issues or daycare was paid and everything. So I stayed for the children, but then I got to the point where I left for the children. I left because I knew that my children this should not be normal for my children. And so I left for the children.
And let me tell you, I've had cases, and I actually have a case now where the children, if you don't leave for them, the state is going to take them. But because now it has evolved where children witnessing domestic violence is considered neglect.
Yes.
It's considered abuse of the children.
Abuse.
They grow up and they're getting diagnosed with PTSD.
Yep.
They're getting diagnosed with anxiety.
Yes.
They're going through trauma
Yes.
because of what they have to witness.
Yes.
And so I've had cases where the wake-up call came when default facts was knocking at the door. They're there, knock, knock, knock. I'm here to remove your children. And sometimes that's the wake up call that people unfortunately have to get to. And I try to counsel, because I tell people I'm twofold, right? I'm an advocate, but I'm a counselor at law too.
Yes.
So I try to counsel them and tell them, look, don't let it get to that point.
Yes.
Do it now, move in silence. There's community resources, Haven House, that's available, domestic violence shelters, men and women.
Yes, it
not
is.
Because I've had some men victims as well.
Yes, I've seen them.
They take advantage of them.
Yep.
Take advantage of them.
Yes, because they know, especially there are so many good men out here. And I learned that through the dating process. You know, you're not single because of, as people say, the ultimate reason. No, you just don't want to be bothered. Excuse me. And some women take advantage of that because they know that man is not going to hit back. He's not going to hit back. He's not going to react in a way that would cause them to call the police.
I've seen text messages from a spouse, a female spouse, to the male spouse. Don't worry, call the police. I'm just going to say you hit me. The manipulation. Let me tell you, the gender may change, but those character traits, do not change at all. The control, the manipulation, it will follow the abuser wherever they go.
Yes.
And let me share a story with you. I had a case, and it broke my heart because the case came to me as a TPO first. And in that TPO, and for those of you all that may not know, a TPO is just an acronym for a temporary protective order. It's the document that you actually get from the court when a person is seeking protection for abuse or stalking or something of that nature. I counseled her to allow us to help her and file the divorce. She didn't want to do it. We had a newborn baby and a toddler. She didn't have the money to pay for me. I wanted to help her. We got the TPO. The TPO was granted. She had the protection, but I remind clients, a TPO is a piece of paper.
It's just a piece of paper.
That's not real protection.
No, it's not.
It's meant to help you, but it's not real protection.
Yes.
She called me. She said, Attorney Bullard, something's not right. She said, I went to have surgery, and my debit card was used as to check out, to pay for the parking. She said, but I didn't use my debit card that day. Well, long story short, we filed for a contempt on the TPO. He had been following her.
Yes.
The court denied it. We didn't have enough proof to show it was him. Even though her debit card was being used, we didn't have enough proof to show it was him.
Yes.
A week later, he came into the marital home. He killed her in front of her two other children that were not his.
Yes.
He took the baby and he ran off, and I think they caught him in Gwinnett County. And that stuck with me because I had to speak to the mom who blamed me as the attorney to say, you didn't protect my daughter.
Exactly.
We told you after this TPO that something was off. He was following her.
Yes.
But as an attorney, even I couldn't convince a court that he was still following her.
Exactly.
So what do you advise survivors and people that are leaving the situation outside of the legal realm to help protect themselves?
That is also where I go into move in silence, do not broadcast. And you have to literally play hurt, play in fear. You've got to play the role until you're ready to leave and never have to come back. And when I say your research, you have to research where you're going to go and how safe that place is, and consider who's going to be around you while you're in that place, because they come for everyone. And the in-laws that were once so close to you, they end up being a part of the team that can eventually kill you or contribute to your death, your death by violence. So you have to do it quietly. Get a PO box. Check your circle of friends that can be your lookouts. Them that ain't afraid to be with you, because they drop off when it starts getting real.
And be careful with those mutual friends.
Yeah.
Because you know, you got to have your circle, you got to have your support system, but those mutual friends, they haven't been in that household.
Exactly.
Who they see on the outside is not who you see on the inside.
Exactly.
So you may want to even cut off those mutual friends in love and do it in silence.
Yes.
It may not be I'm going to miss you, girl, goodbye. It may be, I just got to block everybody.
Exactly.
For my own safety and for the safety of my children.
Exactly. When it finally came to the point of me leaving the physical relationship, it was just my decision quickly that morning, finding the money, getting the U-Haul, and the plan was hopefully that no one would be there, go up there and move my stuff out. But here is the thing about covenant, because we're still married, we're one, we knew each other. He had that feeling. And when I got there with that 24-foot U-Haul, he was there. He was there. And but thank God I did have that one friend who had been through it as well and knew a lot of the inside of the relationship and everything, and wasn't scared. Was never scared. So I did have that that person with me, and so they don't want witnesses.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone to see them in that real light.
That's changed.
Because the smear campaign has begun. Narcissistic was not a word back then. I unfortunately have learned that whole fullness of narcissism. That was the last one, but he knew that person with me was not scared of him, and would that's the one you always thought she helping you do this, she helping you do, because she wasn't scared, and I thank God for her today. But you still have to move in silence, and you have to make sure that you're protected past that TPO, because, and especially if you have children, this is a lifetime thing. It's a lifetime thing. And your family, your parents, everyone that's involved with you and them, you have to be ready to cut it all off for your life and the life of your children, mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally.
And it's not going to happen overnight.
It does not. It continues. It
continues, and especially when you have children, because you're cutting off your abuser to the extent of you all's relationship, but some people don't cut off the co-parenting relationship.
Yes.
And honestly, the courts don't make you cut off the co-parenting relationship. They actually encourage the continual interactions between your former abuser and the children. So now, how do I face my abuser on a Friday night at 6:00 when I have to exchange the children?
You have to just face them. I did that. I wanted to keep him in his children's lives. I mean, we're talking team mom. I'm team mom. He's the coach. Every sport had the kids in everything.
Wait. So this is after you left.
And after I left, I found where I moved to with my mom. Still tried to keep the kids busy to keep their minds off of what was going on. And I would find the means of the coaching and everything. Okay, I've already talked to the people at coach. You could just move your coach thing down here. You can still coach your son. You can still coach your daughter. You just won't have nothing to do with me.
Now, how do you explain that to the children? Because the children witness the abuse. They witness the physical abuse. But on the other end, they're seeing this individual that's their coach, their dad, their superhero. How do you explain to them that this part of the relationship was not right, but this part, this is still your father?
Yes. Thank God, in my case, and this is something research, I'm sure it's better now, but at that time, the elementary school that they were attending, it was called Magara at the time, and I thank God for them. They had a class. They had a thing for children of divorce. Yes, so they had been they had been getting counseling and going to a class, had a cute little coloring book and everything of the divorce monster. Yes. So they were literally helping me, deal with, that you're not with daddy, no more. And then knowing they wanted to be gone. But yes, they did love their father. And so with this, I had to just trust God that they will see the real him in their time. And it has happened. It did happen. I am at the point, and I have my children's permission. My son was like, "You better do this, Mom. It's time." And my daughter, ironically, picked up some of the tendencies in the way that currently we are currently experiencing domestic issues today in her former marriage, and that is one of the other things of me getting this out, that it does not end. It does. She's a trooper and she's awesome. And every time that I stood up, every time that I went through and made it through, they're watching. They're watching. And even to where some of the arguments, one of the things she told that person one time, you got to understand, I'm Lisa Brown daughter. I'm Lisa Brown daughter. I ain't got to live like this. I ain't got to live like this. She had packed up and left, and just on that, I'm Lisa Brown daughter. I ain't got to live like this.
Well, you know what? That's because she saw you transition into the warrior. On one of my previous episodes, I talk about my why. And I talk about my journey as a family law practitioner and how I started and the motivation. And I talk about how with my faith, there's this internal conflict, right? You marry, you have a covenant with your individual. How, as a Christian, do I advocate for divorce? And I explained in that prior episode how my parents divorced when I was 8 years old. Had they not divorced, I would not be who I am today.
Exactly.
Sometimes the break apart is what keeps the family together.
Exactly.
The children can grow up with much more respect of the other individual if they're not in the same household. Children, I tell my clients, children are not dumb. They are not dumb.
They're not.
You may have the 7-year-old, the 8-year-old, and you think, oh, they don't know. They know. They can feel tension. And if they live like that, then that shapes their future and who they are. So sometimes you have to undo the I do.
Exactly.
You got to undo it.
That's a t-shirt.
You got to undo it.
Undo that.
Not for yourself alone. That's important too. But for those little ones that are watching
That's your bloodline.
That's your bloodline.
That's your bloodline.
And that's why your daughter can confidently say,
exactly,
I'm Dr. Lisa's daughter. I don't have to deal with domestic violence. I saw my mom go through it, survive it, and now an advocate for it.
Yes.
I can do it.
Yes. And that is the very thing. But the PTSD, the anxiety, all of that exists today with my adult children.
Now, let me ask you this. How, as a parent, all right, how, as a parent, do you get over because I know I have mom guilt, right, on certain things, on feeling like you contributed to the what has caused their adulthood with PTSD or anxiety?
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
I did have I had guilt, but I didn't have it for long. I didn't have it for long. All of that is in research. When I say research, I'm saying research you, and it just grew in my research all the way back to what I was being taught. And then so I ended up being mad with my mama and my big mama.
Yeah.
And then on, you know, but then when I say research, then I researched what they were being taught. And then you finally just get to the point, they did the best that they could.
Yes.
And that is the exact thing that I'm doing and that I did. I did the best that I knew how. But when you do that research, then you begin to know better. So you begin to do better. So when you know better, when you get this knowledge, when you find out how to do these things, do them. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. And that healing time in between is so detrimental to your survival. Because in that, then I jump back in another one. You know, then I jump. And they all were successful now in their own right. But I still learned in the physical one, the first one, in looking, in researching and examining the family, learning the family dynamics, to only learn that mama, she's in heaven now, his mom, she had gone through it as well. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, physically, even once having to defend herself for actually having, you know, killed in self-defense, but never spent a day because it was self-defense. So this was all that my children's father knew. So this was normal for him.
Right.
This was normal for him. But I didn't know that at the time. But from what I had grown up in the Bible Belt, in the South, I'm straight, Spalding County, Griffin,
Spalding County.
Raised in Georgia, ATL, 40404. But, you know, you don't talk about it. You don't talk about it. Even when I talked to my big mama one time, piece of advice she gave me that I use this and I say this to you today. She said, if you ain't going nowhere, then shut up.
Yeah. And I think that's culturally too.
Then shut up.
I think culturally we have been taught that our business is our business. You don't tell people on the outside what's going on in our household.
Yeah.
I have found that even growing up, I was told, you know what? Don't go tell my business.
Yes.
My business.
Yes.
But you know what? My mom's business was my business.
Yes.
Because what she endured, I saw.
Exactly.
And it affected me.
Exactly.
And as a result of it affecting me, because we have planted the seeds of don't tell my business, I couldn't get the help that I needed.
Exactly.
Because it had been embedded. Don't tell my business.
Don't tell your business.
The research is vital. That healing process is crucial. But one part we haven't touched on is the celebration part.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, when you heal, in that healing process, you're going to find forgiveness.
Yes.
You're going to find forgiveness for your abuser.
Exactly.
You're going to find forgiveness for yourself.
Yep.
When we're talking about motherhood and with your children. Now, your children may not forgive you as quickly, but that's their walk that they have to go through. But eventually you have to forgive yourself because we're only given certain tools in our toolbox.
Yes.
And we can only create our life with those tools. And as we get older and mature, we gather other tools.
Exactly.
And as we're gathering them, we can forgive the ignorant self that we were.
Yes.
But then we transition into that, you know what? I did that.
Yes.
I broke that generational curse from Big Mama.
Exactly.
I broke that generational curse from my mama.
Yes.
I was the one to walk away as a warrior.
Yes. Yes.
As a warrior.
As a warrior. And the only obligation that you have as a warrior, as I say and I continue to say, is to prepare the others, to warn the others. And that is the celebration. That is a part of the celebration as I am in now. That I don't care. I don't care that you know. Really, the thing is you now know the truth. Because one thing is if you don't tell them, they're going to make it up.
Yep.
And if you tell them, they're going to add to it. So let me just let you know how it went down. You know, coming to work with the black eyes that fashion fair would not cover.
Ooh, fashion fair.
Baby. I told you I'm in my diamond anniversary.
Fashion fair. That was back in the day.
Know about if you know about fashion fair, you know what I'm saying. But all these other things, powder, cream to powder, whatever, it does not cover when the blood is coming from coming through your face, when you're healing from a hematoma, and because it's the skull, it's just the blood that's clotted up. And thank God, because he designed these bodies to regenerate themselves and heal, that the blood is working its way back into the system. So although that first day wasn't a black eye, by a week or two later, my entire side of my face was purple because of the blood searching to get back, draining to get back into the system from just the skull. I get it. Oh, okay. Oh, so you learn those things. This is the research. So the fashion fair doesn't cover it up. You still got to go to work. You've got to have those. You got to eventually have that talk with your manager, and then, as in the celebration, you have the freedom of I don't care who knows, because there are some that need to know. Move in silence.
Let me tell you.
Move in silence.
The move in silence. If you don't take anything away from Dr. Lisa's story, is research. Move in silence.
Move in silence.
That's how you start your journey to heal. And then once you go through that journey of healing, don't forget the people that are behind you.
Yes.
Reach back and grab them.
You've got to have a plan.
Have a plan.
You've got to have a plan, and it's your plan. Yeah, you can look at me. I can talk. I'm so grateful to be on this show, as far as the family aspects, because the legal aspects, because things are not the same today as what I had back then, which was literally just a piece of paper. And when you're trying to do right by your children, to keep that presence of two parents in their lives, sometimes it's just the grace and the power of God that that all three of us are still physically alive and standing strong to look back and and laugh. And when I say laugh, I'm gonna tell you laugh. It might sound hysterical, but I'm gonna tell you that time that my faith was so strong that when that double barrel sawed-off shotgun was raised to me as I was packing to leave, because I heard him having an affair, a voicemail. Back then, the voicemails, you could hear it upstairs, or if you pick up the phone, you can still hear the message. Y'all don't know about that.
We advanced now.
Yeah, it's advanced now, But when he raised that gun, that double barrel thing, which would have blown my head away, I actually raised my hand with the faith that I had in God then, that I just knew those bullets were not going to penetrate through my hand. In trusting God that you pull the trigger, but I ain't gonna die. But in that what had happened in that incident was he stopped and said, you ain't even worth it. But at the time, my son was 2 years old at the top of the stairs seeing this, and was like, you're gonna kill my mama. 2 years old.
And you gotta watch him.
Yes.
I tell you.
Yes.
Dr. Lisa, and with the E, Oppong, God has put a calling on your life.
Yes.
He has protected you.
Yes.
He has molded you, and now you are an advocate and a warrior. I am so grateful that you have joined us to tell us your story, to give some encouraging words to those that may currently be experiencing domestic violence.
Yes.
Are there any resources that you want to tell the audience as we get ready to wrap up today's episode?
Yes, there are resources. Research is everywhere, as the attorney was talking about the domestic violence, the shelters. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. As I am building up and the manifestation of what God has called me to do, I will be there. You need to talk to me, or you need some pointers. I can be reached at batteredhealingbouquet@gmail.com. I can be reached at speaktomyheart@gmail.com. I am Dr. Lisa Oppong on Facebook. I am Lady Lisa on Instagram, and my information is there. But there are so many resources out there. There's in one place I do hosting. I do the spoken word. I do hosting. I'm ordained, so I can unfortunately bury you. I can bury you, marry you, all of those things. But the resources are there to help you make your plan, to help you move in silence, to help you still be able to go to work and keep your funds going to finance your getaway. So research your lane, research the things you need for you. There are places where you can actually still go to work and your kids be, still go to school and everything while you're going through these things.
Well, you are a vital resource to our listeners. I thank you tremendously for sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much.
This has been another episode of Order in Her Court. We want to thank our sponsor, the Law Office of McGuire and Bullard. And if you know anyone going through domestic violence, please, please, please have them listen to this episode, like, share, follow. We want to be a resource to our listeners.